welcome to another of my conquest guides. Today I'll be covering the global feat in Vader's Shadow, which requires us to get 100 kills with Kylo Ren or Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. With this video, it's my intention to outline a strategy and data disk build that can be utilised by a range of lineups and gear relic levels that isn't confined to one node, making this feat much more manageable for non-Supreme Leader Kylo Ren players. To achieve this, I've recorded battles using my Relic 7 Kylo, but with low stamina and poor mods, to better reflect how a low Relic or a non-G13 Kylo may perform. This is demonstrated in my 5th battle, where my Kylo has just over 2000 offense and only 62 speed. So the core of this setup centers on one of the most powerful data disk combos to date, Deadly Catalyst with Ruthless Swiftness and Ruthless Offense. Deadly Catalyst, which can be earned from the global feat Torn Apart, or from a data disk node, I'm not 100% sure if its placement on nodes is intentional, provides 30% stacking offense once an enemy's health hits certain thresholds. Although this provides a good offensive boost throughout the course of a battle, it's the first part of the disc, which allows all allies to ignore 30% of the enemy's protection, that really makes this setup shine. As you can essentially knock an enemy's health below 100% on your first turn, it makes Deadly Catalyst's accompanying discs, Ruthless Swiftness and Offense, especially the former, incredibly powerful. For example, if you've got 3 Ruthless Swiftness discs equipped, all at 22%, your team will gain 66% turn meter after your first attack, whether that be on turn or a counter. Furthermore, this can exponentially increase if the enemy squad has good health regen, which I'll provide an example of shortly, allowing your squad in some instances to take back-to-back turns, which can be huge for low-geared relic squads. With all that being said, we'll now shift focus to the gameplay. For my first battle, I opted to use Traya lead with Kylo and 3 non-damage dealing allies versus an Old Republic Nest node. I used Traya mainly for her lead that damages enemies that attack out of turn, which Old Republic Nest frequently do due to Car's lead and various uniques that provide counter chance or guaranteed assist. To support Kylo and ensure he would get most of the kills, I also brought in 3 non-damage dealing allies, Watt, Hoda and C-3PO. Of the 3, Watt is the only essential ally. Kylo vs Old Republic works particularly well because of the enemy's good health regen, which kicks in when they're inflicting dots, or in Nest's case, countering. This means if Kylo spams his AoE, he can potentially trigger Ruthless Swiftness several times, back to back, allowing him to quickly ramp up his team's turn meter and offense. During the first battle, after 3 or 4 AoEs, Kylo had almost doubled his offense and was pretty much maintaining full turn meter. On top of the aforementioned discs, Watt's weapon tech is also an important element for Kylo's turn meter gain, further ensuring he matches or exceeds the enemies. A brief note on modding: high tenacity is crucial for Kylo. If he gets dazed or ability blocked, he can quickly get overwhelmed and taken out, which is also why I suggest focusing down characters that can inflict these debuffs. The likes of Mission and Boba should take priority. Finally, C-3PO isn't required for this lineup. Although he is a non-damage dealing character, I mainly used it as a pseudo tank with Voluntary Vanguard. You can sub it for an actual tank, one that ideally counters, and throw on Watt's shield tech instead. Although I do highly recommend Voluntary Vanguard for all battles, simply for the 30% reduction in damage received. To my second battle, due to their decent turn meter gain and relatively high damage output, I found winning versus the Geos a bit trickier to pull off. Traya's lead is a big help here, but you'll need a thick character to take the enemy attacks. On the plus side though, your damage does ramp up very fast. I'm assuming because of the enemy's health equalization that may trigger Deadly Catalyst thresholds much quicker. Switching things up now, for my 4th battle, timestamps in description by the way, I subbed Watt for 5s. This lineup does require a Voluntary Vanguard, but is great for triggering your Ruthless Swiftness early on. Due to 5's high counter chance, he can potentially attack an enemy on their first turn, providing an immediate turn meter boost to his team and allowing them to jump ahead of the enemy. I decided to farm the Sector 1 datacron node for this lineup. I'd say the bounty hunters have one of the slower nodes, making them much easier to control. For my final battle, I threw in a few first order. Kylo Ren en masse for his stat turn meter boosting lead, and more importantly, taunt counter combo, and First Order Officer for his turn meter offense special to further boost Kylo, although I underestimated what a full stamina mid-relic character can do with this data disk build, as First Order Officer ended up critting for over 200k. Some final tips that should help your battles go a bit smoother. Only use Hoda's Master's Training on Kylo and his non-damage dealing allies. You don't want Kylo's damage dealing allies stealing any kills. Also, if you've got space after equipping Deadly Catalyst, the Ruthless Discs and Voluntary Vanguard, equip any discs that recover health or protection when receiving a buff or debuff. Fierce Persistence, for example, provides up to 5% health recovery when an ally receives a debuff, and can be quite helpful when battling the debuff heavy Old Republic. One final note, this setup is quite flexible, so plug in any strong tanks or supporting characters that you think will help keep everyone alive and ensure Kylo gets the kills. I'd also only recommend this strategy if you've already got the global feat Might as All, which requires us to get 40 wins with a full First Order squad, as you'll probably get quite a few kills with Kylo without really trying, assuming you're going for both feats. I'll have a video up soon showing the best nodes to farm non-Supreme Leader Kylo Ren First Order wins from. So to conclude, Deadly Catalyst and the Ruthless Discs elevate a lot of characters, allowing them to hit well above their weight, and should allow non-Supreme Leader Kylo Ren players to brute force their way to 100 kills with Kylo Ren. As always, if you have any questions or suggestions, let me know below or find me on Discord. Till the next video.